Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ravinia Festival. Please note that the taking of photographs, including the use of camera phones and the use of audio or video equipment, is strictly prohibited. As a courtesy to the artist and your fellow patrons, please ensure that all mobile phones, pagers, and anything with an on-off switch have been silenced. We appreciate your consideration. Thank you for making it a great day at Ravinia.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Alejandra Valarino Boyer. I am the director for the Ravinia Staines Music Institute. It is my great pleasure to introduce our masterclass facilitator. This is the last masterclass of our piano and strings program, which, if you can believe it, is going to be wrapping up at the end of next week. You have Miriam's bio in your program. There is very little that I can add to the incredible accomplishments of her career, except to say that it has been an absolute joy for us to have her here as our program director, to see her work with all of the fellows, to share her joy and her passion. And I am so excited to have all of you get to join with us in that. So please join me in welcoming Miriam Fried. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you for being here. And we will just get to work right away. We start with an unfamiliar violin sonata, which I think is absolutely gorgeous, the Busoni Sonata. It was written between 1898 and 1900, and is very rarely played, I think, sadly. So I hope you enjoy. Really wonderful, I must say. Really wonderful. You do a very good job, and I think you make a fantastic case for the piece, which is, you know, the best anybody can do. And just like Gil Kalish said in his class, there's always room for improvement, and so it's not because it's not good, because it is wonderful, that we will try to make it even better. And so there are actually two things that I would like to talk about. And the first one is your use of vibrato, because I think that you could both vary it more and also pay attention, because sometimes you vibrate more in the middle of notes, and so you get kind of, yeah. So that, you know, we will be specific about that, but I would like to address that because I think it will make it better. The other thing is that, you know, in the first movement, there are a lot of very slow things, and I feel that your bow speed is kind of even, and sometimes it becomes a bit static. And I think that, you know, you could use a variety of bow speeds to actually delineate the shapes better than you're doing. And in the second movement, by the way, the piece is written basically uninterrupted, but you know, this is the second movement. In the second movement, I think there's so many abrupt changes of material that you just run from one to the other, you know, and so unless somebody actually knows all the materials from before, you know, it passes you by and you don't even notice. And so I think that we'll have to figure out how you're going to separate the things without losing the energy, which was wonderful. Yeah. Okay, so let's start from the beginning maybe and try to look at this. And I'll put my glasses on because I can't see anything. So, you know, what is the most important thing that happens when you come in?
I'm in minor.
You're in minor, exactly. So, I mean, you've played da-dee, da-dee. I mean, that's not quite, you see, the whole point is that we don't know that until you play the D. So the question is, what do you do with the D, natural, so that we can actually, you know, tell without you shocking us into understanding. You see, I think you elongate it and show the interval between the D and the B, you see, because I think in the F sharp is not a harmony, but if you do a... You know, I think also, you know, it doesn't matter how slow something is, there still should be a shape, you know? Yeah, and could you now do the same without stopping your vibrato? So now, yeah. Yeah, I would suggest that you come a little closer. You see, if you move from this angle, so when you get to the G, you have no support. So come closer so that you can actually, control the vibrato. Just from where she is. And could the G be a little gentler so that, right? Right, so this is an enormously long B, and it arrives at a particular place. I would like to know from the beginning, not that it's going to, I hope it ends someday, but rather I'm going here. Yeah, and I think actually you could help too if we had more of a sense of the meter, because if you have ta di dum ta di, we don't really know, but ta di dum. Yeah, but you see, now this, right, so this part, you see, so that tied over part changes the trajectory of the phrase, and you need to go with it, right? Yeah, you will have to change the speed of the bow. So you need to say, so that this, and immediately from this, you're headed there. You see, the certainty of shape. I know I'm going here, I'm coming from there, it's going to take this long, it's going to be very stretched, not stretched, very rhythmic, not so much, all of these things you need to see. So what we do is we have a picture of the phrase in our mind, and we trace this picture, right? So everything needs to be clear. You see, there is no way for a person who is listening to understand what you're saying unless you're 100% clear. Okay? Okay. So this, when you play your A, this is a new key, so the color needs to change, but it's also a new motion. You see, and we need the one in order to bounce off it and really have that, I think there's more motion here, you see, and so if you come in, because it was the motion from before, okay. Right? So you have to show me immediately, this is a different motion. Yeah, I can imagine. You see, we've been in a very dark place. This piece is very dark. This is a point of light. I don't hear it. So I think, you could be a little airier to... Yeah, this is two separate again. Neither the bow nor the vibrato are playing a really beautiful legato. You see, this is almost like an echo, right? Dee-da, 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 dee-da. It should be so heavenly, I would describe it, right? Beautiful. Let me just say one thing. You see, when you start on an offbeat and you go from, we don't feel it. There has to be some kind of a gesture. One, right? And that I'm missing. In fact, I even miss it when you just start. You don't give the upbeat, the preparatory gesture to a beginning. And, the preparatory gesture gives an indication of what is to come. So it gives you an indication of what's to come and the audience as well, and both need to know where we are, because it could be anywhere, right?
Should I do it again or continue on?
No, continue on now. Yeah, I think that might be a little more underlying storm there. But that's maybe too much. Way to say one chord. It's a very intense chord, it's a diminished chord, I know, but again, we don't know how long it's going to go. And when you say one more, one more, one more, one more, then that's too many. Okay, so just prepare me that I should go with you all the way. Okay, yeah, you see, a diminished chord in music is the most intense moment because we don't know where it's going. It could go different ways, right? And this one goes to even more unexpected place than anybody would think. You didn't even sound surprised. Okay, so we're fine. You know, no, there's never fine. You know, if you want the response of your listener to be, wow, you have to say, look at this, wow. So I think, Xiaohui, I also think that your E, that should be a row of E's, not E and another, right? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So they should really participate in this. So maybe, so you have two options. Either belong together, then this is a surprise, or and you say we're done with that. But either way, this is the focus. You see, it's hard to know where you're going the way you time this. Like that. Yeah, okay, well, because we have very little time left, I'd love to go a little bit to the second movement, yeah. But that was beautiful. I liked it a lot. Yeah. Don't hit them.
I know, I can't get into song.
Well, start from the string. That doesn't do it. Start from the string and very fast and up. Yeah. You see, you are trying too hard. I'm really working for a little. That's all. No point here. Just, you know, pull from your arm. What you want is the resonance after you leave the string. So the faster you leave the string, the more resonance you'll have. Okay, so okay. Right? So the la-la-da-dum is a different 3/8 notes because there's more intensity here and la-da-da-dum. Yeah. Could you?
More substance.
I think more substance is what I'm looking for. Okay. So there are a lot of sequences. If you have sequence, you know, don't just Oh, another one. You see this, another one, and another one. It's not a good idea. Yeah. So yum padam pada, ram padam pada is one chord. La da 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 is not the third note of a chord because it doesn't belong there. Yeah, you see, so everybody who listens expects da-da-dum, da-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, but there aren't, right? And so this is, again, an event, because you had dee-dum, ba-dim, ba, right? So dee-da-dum, ba-da-dum, and then something else. Show me. Don't say, oops, where is the other one? Yeah, but this, you see, any time you veer off from the expected, you want to show. Yeah. You see, the brain knows to understand pattern. We all function that way, and we learn language that way, and that's what we mean when we say music is a language. We also understand patterns of music. You see, the minute you veer away from that, that's what you want to show. And usually it would be good not to just say, I veered off, because that could be that I got lost, but rather I veered off because I'm doing blah, 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 whatever it may be. Yeah, so this is the most lighthearted thing that you have, maybe in the whole piece, It's a little small, it's a little, careful. I think it really should be outgoing. Yeah, but this, you see, there's la la la, la 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 la. Again, different pattern, different bow speed. And you have a tendency of kind of remembering after you started, and that's a pity. What is really a pity is that we really have to stop.
Can I do this phrase?
Yes, you can do this phrase and then we'll stop. Yeah, so this is an unusual return to the theme. So more virtuosic, because I think that's the only purpose of it. There's absolutely no other reason why it's there. So play it up.
Would you though still use the accent as the...
I can't see anything. Where are my glasses? Sorry.
That I still...
That's one way of doing it.
That I don't show the beat, that it's still under the umbrella of the A sharp.
Absolutely, you do with the accent where it's written, but I think the whole point is... Yeah, okay. But now, unfortunately, we really do have to finish. Thank you. Beautiful. Really beautiful. Really good. Wonderful. We'll continue. We hope. Bravo. Bravo. Very good. This is not an easy piece. You do a very, very good job. There isn't actually a general kind of comment that I have. I noticed that you taper things off at the end too much, and we lose, dee da 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 da, and we don't quite know what the end of it is, and it happens too much. And usually those are resolutions, and they're missing, so it's a pity. I think in general, I feel that you could separate things from one another. It kind of just rolls on, and I could imagine coming to full stops, really coming to full stops and allowing things to finish. And for example, when you have dom, Mozart knew that it was far. He, I am sure, anticipated that it would take longer. And so it's probably figured into the piece, so you don't need to hurry to get there on time because it loses from the drama of it, So, I mean, it's that kind of thing, In general, I find it really very good. Sometimes I think that the sound could be a little warmer, I mean, you're very kind of timid, I would say, with the range of sound. Did you experiment with trying up? And you don't like it?
We missed the kind of falling gesture.
I see. Wouldn't it fall better up? And it does for me, but anyway, you don't. That's fine. One way or another, I think that the difference between playing in unison and playing a harmonized something is not significant enough. You see, there's something empty in a way in a unison thing, right? And then I can imagine it much warmer, and I don't hear it happening. Okay, so can we start from the beginning? I don't know where to stand, so I'll stand here. Not so with a forte, warm. Has nothing to do with dynamics. So. Yeah, okay. So, allow it to finish, right? Da-da-da. I don't think it goes like that. The gesture starts in the E flat. It doesn't start from before or during the break between. It really needs to finish. And it doesn't mean that I want you to take time, but it doesn't feel like it finished. You're kind of like this. I'm going on. Okay? I must say I don't hear it falling too much. Can you? The first note is a little insecure, I mean, I don't mean insecure in intonation, but in sound. Then it doesn't have a place to fall from. Don't overdo. Just warm up the sound. Don't get louder. Yeah. Dim bom. You're playing a diminuendo dim. Why is this actually like that? Because it was too loud? Probably. Yeah, but that's a wrong, too loud is not good, but too soft is also not good. Yom, bom, you know, and think harmonically rather than louder, softer, you know, this is too loud, this is too soft. What is the essence of the harmonies, you know, how do they relate to one another? I think it's much easier to think about sound that way. So start from yeah, so you see, I want to hear that yours are falling down, you know? And so in order to fall down, you have to go up, right? So feel that you're coming from here and you're falling. It sounds kind of the same, okay? Do this again. Isn't that and one bow? Is it possible to do it? Sure. I think it's more natural for the melodic line. Can you try? Yeah, that is not good. You see, don't connect to your note. Mm-hmm. Connect to what she just did. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be so metronomically accurate. You see, because I think you're thinking of connecting with your notes, and that's hard. Do you want to do from, I like the legato much better, I really must say. You want to do from, yeah, so it needs to be a little more earthy, I think, you know. The characters change, you know, and I think that you need to, you know, you don't need to be careful. You know, Mozart doesn't imply careful. I know how difficult this is, believe me, I played it, I know all about it, but we can't depart from, this is difficult, so I'm not gonna touch, don't worry, you know, that's not a good solution. You know, touch, by all means, you know, and again, I am not talking about how loud things are. Loud is not a musical concept, right? But I think it's a little more, you can start right there. Yeah, so this bothers me, that you see, we need to hear the D and to hear that she's and you disappear completely. So, what kind of a dialogue do you have? Because I can't tell. Is there a question, answer? Who is asking? Yeah, yeah, it is a question and answer, but I don't hear. You know, and then you do it again. Whoops. Yeah, so again, you know, there's so many beautiful harmonies and they disappear. Yum pum pum, da 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 da. Because listen, they're not the same harmonies all the time with the notes. And again, I think I hear that you have 16th notes and 8th notes. And I want to hear and connect the two gestures so they're not each one separate. You know, the whole point is to take the parts and assemble them. And, you know, when we say music is a language, You know, that's what it means, you know. You don't speak in syllables or words, you speak in minimum sentences, right? And so you should also think that way here. You know, I think it's too, you know, separated. Yeah, again, lam pom pom pim pom. This is not the end. Tim, da di da di da da. So if you set up this harmony, this repeated harmony, the right way, then it will demand of you to wait before you go on. You see? But I don't quite hear the tom, pom, pim, pom, pom. Right? So you need to really find the drama in these things, you know, and I think that you're afraid, you know. I mean, Mozart has an imagination almost unmatched by anybody, you know. It's not in a little box, you know. It's much, much bigger than that, okay? So it's not about how loud you're going to play. It has nothing to do with that. But it has to do with the imagination, how you express everything that's happening. Okay, so can you do from the same place from before? Yeah, for me it's a little too cute. Yeah, tim pom bim pom ti la la la. Things need to have relationships. They need to relate, you know. And if you have yam pom bim pa, it just doesn't connect somehow, you know. But I thought that the timing of that was better. Okay, so do ti da da di da di. So you had no bigger interval than the whole step, right? Now you have it's a totally different melodic line. So there is more shaping to be done there, I think. You know, and really show me, right? Right there, and you don't have to go back. Yeah, but you see it, Tom. Make sure that the dynamics are logical. You know, they seem to not quite follow. By the way, I just wanted to say something. If you do this, you're not going to move your bow. You know, the violin doesn't know this. It only knows what to do when you move your bow. So if you want something, figure out how you move your bow. Okay? Because it's simply wasted motion. Okay? So the more you focus on what you do with your bow, the more control you will have. Yeah, so where does the dynamic change? Does it change on the A flat?
On the C.
No, after. Da, ba, ba, da, da. and the A flat. I hear da, 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 right? So the pa, it's a different impulse, right? So be careful that you are really precise. You don't have to go all the way back there. You could do the bum. Yeah? Okay, that's too loud, but that's the idea. Can you play that? How many times do you play this many tritones in a row? Can you enjoy them a little bit? It's on the, you know, just yeah. So again, there was a cadence. There was an ending. And especially when you start a series of sequences. You know, I mean, if you just go down, it just rolls on, and you really do need to separate. I think also you should enjoy the cadence a little bit more. You know, I think maybe the articulation of your eighth notes can, you know, be shaped, you know, so not all the notes need to be exactly the same length, you know, but rather, you know, respond to intervals between the two of you, or the three of you rather, and altogether to the harmony. You see, it doesn't make sense to me that all of the accompanimental notes are exactly the same length, okay? From T up high, 2 octaves lower. I would like you to change, to turn the color from real soprano to, you know, because otherwise, why did he go there? I mean, E flat is E flat, right? Harmonically speaking, it would be exactly the same. So really use that, you know. I mean, these are, you know, flourishes that are important. Do from T, and I would also so there is more tension in the sequences. Then it kind of melts into a beautiful and the cadence, you know, the cadence in Mozart is kind of, you know, it's very square. It's very predictable, you know, there's no fuss, you know, right? Yeah, okay, I'm standing right here, and I still don't hear the last note enough. And I mean, you know, I realize that the F hole is going that way, but still, I'm right here, and I don't hear it enough. So, there isn't an automatic diminuendo in everything Mozart. There seems to be a tradition of that, but there really isn't. Yeah, you see, tim pom 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 bim podim ti, so grand, you know. And I mean, no way he didn't know, no way. So do from right there. I can't sing that. I can't sing anything but true. Yeah, you see, I feel that yom pom 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 pom, not da 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 da. I don't need individual notes. I need ha pa pa pi pa bim podim. And remember, carry the E flat, the bottom, in your mind, so that dim pa dim ti, right? So dim pa pi pa pi pa bim pa dim ti, la da da da. You know, and try to make it in a natural way, so it doesn't sound like I'm waiting here and I'm doing this, and you know, just experiment, see what happens. You don't know. Maybe it'll be terrible, but then you'll know not to do that. You know, so I mean, that's the worst that can happen, right? Yeah, I think finish and start la da da. Hear a buzz. Yeah, it's exactly the E flat that I don't hear. I don't hear it at all. And you're important there, right? I think da 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 da. Why are you lingering on the top D? Both of you are doing that. D la da da da. But if you do that, which I don't think you need, but if you do, you should probably spread it over 3 notes. La da di da 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 da, not just one, because then it sounds a little unnatural to me. To me, go that's the harmony that we are interested in, the harmony that is played with your A. Don't hear the B flat. I'm standing here. And a appoggiatura without the resolution is not an appoggiatura, it's an unresolved note. You know, it must be resolved. Right? And it has no need to be softer. Okay, you want to go on? Yeah, okay. So every chord is, really? I don't hear that. You see, I mean, you come from here. Why are you playing this chord? And you have to ask yourself while playing, why am I playing this chord? Wow. And then the next one, and the next one. You know, it's not reasonable to expect them to say, wow, when you say, oh, okay, G major, or G, whatever. You have to participate in the sense of wonderment, you know, and I don't hear it. I really don't. everyone. Whoa, and this D flat, did you expect that? And you played it so short that all of the people who didn't know there was a D flat didn't hear it. I promise. You can't hear it at all. This whole transition is totally extraordinary. And I want to hear that you're feeling the surprise and the amazement at the kind of progression that he came up with. It's anything but anticipated. So every single one should sound, wow. And you have only sound. We don't have any other tools. There's no words, there's no nothing else, okay? You have to make it work with sound. And in order for a progression this complicated to actually work, you have to say, I'm going to do this one this way, and this one this way, and this one that way. And if you decided that, I can't tell for sure what it is. You see, and so you really need to be clear, What are the colors? And, when do you decide to delay something just so much that, I say, there was something there, right? Because right now, I can't tell. So can you try it one more time? Different materials here, and I think you do need to decide hierarchy, because right now I'm hearing you as a primary thing and everything else is secondary, and I'm not convinced that that's the right way to do it, right? So tim pom pom pim pom dee da da, has a function too, and so you need to again make some decisions. But this was much better. It was definitely much better, And the other thing is, like I keep saying, you have to know where you're coming from and where you're going to end up, and how many steps you're going to have along the way. So if you are in step 9 and you arrive at 10, it feels different than if you're in step 9 and there is 1,000, right? And so you need to really build the drama of the sentence based on how many steps you have, And I think that it was clearer this time, okay? So can you start from T, and could you not sustain the long note quite so much? Let go of it so that the da-da-dum is a little clearer. Yeah. So, what is the character of yum bum bum bim bum dee da dum? Because I can't really tell for sure that. What do you think?
More whimsical, less determined. The other side is very strong.
Okay. All right. So dim bum bum bim bum. It sounds a little separate. Bum 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 bum. Well, can you do this again? the dee da 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 dee dee could be more metered. It sounds da 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 dee dee da 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 dee da dee da 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 da. So it has more of a shape. Can you do it from there? Yeah, I think it's too even. I'm hearing this. Instead of, because we don't need that. You see, we. So this is a good place to stop, and unfortunately we have to. Okay, very good, excellent. Bravo. Bravo. Very good. Very, very good. I would like to talk about several things. One of them, proportion.
Okay.
And the other one is trying to understand what is behind the markings. You know, and I believe that Beethoven is quite meticulous about his markings, and I also believe that he is less consumed with the decibel level than he is with shapes, arrivals that have been, you know, diverted, you know, sometimes humor, although not in this movement particularly, you know, and these are the two things that I think could maybe improve things. So the very opening, you know, the piano plays in unison, okay? And the minute you come in, there's an accompaniment, and the accompaniment gives a sense of dread or drama or whatever you want to call it. It should be reflected in your sound. And I heard maybe an agitated sound, but I didn't hear, right? I really didn't, and I would like to.
Okay.
You see, because it's a really dramatic change from what the piano is playing, you know. I mean, it's almost skeletal, you know. We don't get any explanation about anything. And the minute the violin comes in, there's a whole world there, you know, okay? So let's start from the beginning. First of all, you're not with him. That's one thing. You know, the question is the arrival, you know, and I find that it's da, da, you see, you come from this, right? So you have it should be the outcome of what you played before rather than something surprising beyond it. Okay?
Okay.
Can you do from where you come in? Choose not to have the sforzato on the down bow? I mean, you could. It should be a natural outcome of what you did before rather than, I'm going to hit you over the head now.
Okay.
Right? Bum, 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 bum. So you're the up one. You know, you will have the chords on one later, but not here. So it's really the offbeat. Don't exaggerate. You were exaggerating now. You see, I mean, you need the drama. And so I don't mean to minimize things to the point that, you know, the drama is lost. But think, what is a natural development? What would be the size of an accent that comes after what I just did, right? So that an accent is not something fixed, that every time I have an accent is the same accent, you know, that was before and before that and before that, okay? So what kind of response is this? What does it say? You see, because I'm just hearing it. Right? Figure out, this is a commentary. You're commenting on what you just heard the piano do. What kind of commentary is it? What are you saying about it? Okay? So here, you stayed in the same key. You open it up to a major key, right? You know, so the sound has to change, and it really has to sound like you open the door into a different world. I still feel that they're two lift off faster, and really imagine if you played 1, 2, 1, 2, how would you play the 2, right? Oops. That was not. So basically, I think it's quite good. But I'd like to hear. So really, you know, real fun. I played shorter, but that doesn't matter. But I'm not really hearing that you're playing with his right hand, right? So, you know, you should shape things together. And, you know, the da-da-da-da-da was way bigger than anything that he did. You know, so, I mean, whatever it is that you do, you have to coordinate the shape, you know, because both of you are accompanying his left hand, right? Yeah, I mean, I think you can make more sound. I think you can make more sound. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to put a lid on you, but you know, really figure out how do you play with the piano right hand, and what is the appropriate accompaniment for yum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, right? But that, you see, that is the G flat that's important. You have a, now, right? You really have to change the color there, not later. Yeah, you see that? proportion. Where were you before? How were your short notes? Why would these be so fundamentally different? You see? I mean, we're still in the same line. Yes, it grew, but to what proportions?
Yeah.
See, that's what I think is important. I don't think that one can decide ahead of time that you can't play this chord or you can play that chord. But it depends on what you did before, right? Yeah, okay, so you see, you do this, but you don't move your bow. Doesn't work. Okay. What's special about this place? What's he playing in his left hand? B flat. And I don't even hear that note. Literally not. You see? I mean, that's so dissonant. You know? You know, and he goes from, you know, I mean, so that development is really important. You know, you can't rob us of the most dissonant part of it. Yeah, and don't. On all of those. You're playing. You don't have those accents, right? So it's a totally different shape, right? So you play this extremely well. Extremely well. It's so clean. Could you now acknowledge the harmonies too? No, because you play it so well, so you can. You know, so you see, because they're beautiful, actually. Yeah, but again, you see, without an accent, because right? Okay, so this is an acoustical issue. If you play, nobody hears the 16th. So you need, first of all, you need to articulate also with your fingers, but you also need, with the piano, that accent is not going to be heard out there, but we'll hear the note.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah, but Nathan, make a big sound. You have a big sound. Come on, play. Yeah, you see, the only thing. Why are you kicking it? Yeah. That's what is right? separately, because the piano has to play big, and he wrote it separately, so we're not doing anything wrong. Okay, so I have a question. Why not vibrato? It's so beautiful. Why?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And can you play the bowing? You see, it's not a symmetrical. It's not. Right? It's not the same. Yeah, the only problem is that I don't hear the top note. The G and the F sharp, I really need to hear them, and to hear them beautifully. This is just beautiful. Yeah. You see, because he turns it, da-da-da-da-da. At the beginning, it's ominous. Here, it's just a da-da-da-da. It's not a threatening thing, and you play something really beautiful. Just listen to T, da-da-da-da-da, right? Because that's what the motor of all of this, right? So do this again. Yeah, it's not pianissimo. Make it really uncomplicated. I'm of two minds about that, right? That T-da goes to that. On the other hand, it changes harmony. So, once I do it this way, once I do it the other way, you can do whatever you want. Crescendo! Yeah, you see, this is Beethoven, right? Obviously, there's this big crescendo. The expectation is that you go T, la, di, da, da, and he says, no. You see, so you have to create a surprise, because otherwise, well, what is it for, right? So you want to carry this crescendo all the way to the absolute end, and then I won't, right? So it has to be really a significant surprise.
Okay.
You see, all of it is completely untraditional, because he is not having the same, phrase. The phrases are not lined up. He starts before you, right? So it's all moved over, and so you need to acknowledge all of these things that are odd, weird, right? Crescendo! Yeah, so think about, you started from and ended up with what? that's the point, though. You see, that's the whole point, that the harmony is what determines all of this. And that's what the wonderment is. You know, how on earth from that you came to this? You know, and so the sound and the way that you time it, that the way you present it needs to tell us this is not conventional stuff, because it's not. Okay? And so the colors of each one of those keys has to say, oh, right? I'm not quite hearing that. You see, you're focusing on playing softly, and I want you to play a soft E flat major, and a soft B major, and a soft G major. You know, those are so unusual in the way they follow one another.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah, it's much better. Maybe not. This is it. Right? It's connected.
Okay.
Right? But that was much better. Yeah, but you're emphasizing. And I will be. Right? It's the interval that's much more interesting. Right? Yeah, and another total surprise. You know, why are we now in A flat? You see, I mean, this is, I think, central. You know, all of these harmonic changes that are pretty dramatic. And if you think about it, you know, he wasn't very old when he wrote this. This is not late Beethoven. This is not, you know, anything like that. But, you know, his adventuresome approach is right here. You know, there is an enormous amount of harmonic information that should really inform everything that you do, you know, and you should really think about it, and I know that you can. And so, you know, really find the right colors for everything, and mostly learn to communicate this, oh wow, why am I here? Or this is something, you know. The different responses that you have to these, you know, this kind of going back and forth to places that you really shouldn't be in, right? And that's what I was missing, you know, because it's really extraordinary, you know. And so, you know, and all of that, you have to keep in mind one thing that we know Beethoven actually said, and he said that he never decides the character of a work before he chooses the key. So key was really central in his mind to character. Okay, now these are not keys, you know, these are just little snippets of things, but the same idea, I think, should really be the one that guides you. And so what is the color and the character of an A flat major after G major? How does it change? What does it do? Is it warmer? Is it, you know, more dramatic, less dramatic? Is it, you know, whatever? right? And the minute you do that, then you know what you want to communicate. And then all of the dynamic markings become just like signposts, to something that is actually much more important. Because the structure of this music depends completely on the harmony. And Beethoven was known to be, with Bach, the greatest harmonizer of all times. It does mean something. It's not just words that people say. I mean, yeah, people say a lot of words, but I think that it's important to remember that, that this was really central to his thinking. And so the more you look at that and the more you respond to it, the closer you get to the spirit of it. Okay? Yeah. So time flies. So, I think that this is the direction in which you need to go, because the piece, that's not the problem. I just really think that there's more there, and that you can find more. And there's a lot of, Beethoven, it's hard. And, what is the use of saying it's hard? Everything is hard and everything is easy, it doesn't mean a thing. It doesn't help to say it's hard. And so then if it's hard, then what? You see, so I wouldn't approach it that way. I would approach it really with the sense of, let me see what I can find here. And God knows you can find a lot. Okay? And really relish what you find, figure out what to do with it. Okay? Very good.
Thanks so much.
Excellent.